Hi and Happy New Year! Welcome to my channel. So one of my goals for 2022 is to read more books. I already enjoy reading and I do read a bit, but I really want to read more books in 2022 and establish a habit of reading more consistently. So during Christmas I had some time off work, and so I sat down and decided to buy a bunch of books at the same time, because I know myself, and if I have books in my bookshelf or in my iPad that I have paid for myself and I have not read them, I will feel guilty. So it really pushes me to read. I had a list of a few books that I know that I wanted to read, and I had a list of some authors that I had never read before and I wanted to read one of their books, so I could choose whatever book by that author. I chose mainly some older books that I have wanted to read for a while, but also some newer ones that I had heard about and wanted to read. So the first book I decided to get is Casino Royale by Fleming. So I think most of you know that this is the first book about James Bond, and it came out in 1953. So I recently, well, a few weeks ago, I saw the latest Bond movie with a friend, and afterwards we discussed that neither of us had actually read a James Bond book, so it got me a bit curious. I know that it's not considered great literature and that some of the views and attitudes presented in the books are old-fashioned by today's standards. But I'm still curious and I look forward to reading it. So the second book I decided to get is My Struggle by Karl-Ove Knausgård, or Min Kamp in Swedish, which is the version I have. This was published in 2009 and it is the first of 6 autobiographical novels. And as I understand it, these books are not about a specific topic, they are more about life in general. So these books caused quite a stir in my home country, Sweden, where he used to live, although he is Norwegian. And I have to say I'm curious to see what all the fuss was about. And I have also heard that the books are great, so I think it will be a fascinating read. So the next book is a bit different. It is Island of Secrets by Rhys, and it came out in 2020, so it's a newer book. So this book gives me sort of chick lit vibes because of the cover and some of the descriptions that I've read, but it might be just my prejudice, I don't really know. However, the reason I chose it is because it takes place in Cuba, and that really interests me, and I'm willing to overlook a lot of other things if I get to read about Cuba. So the next two books are The Name of the Rose by Umberto published in 1983, and The Club Dumas by Arturo Pérez-Reverte, published in 1993. And I came across these two books when I searched online for books that were similar to books written by Spanish author Rhys. And please excuse my Italian and my Spanish here. So some folks online recommended these two books, so I'm very curious to see if they live up to the recommendations. So the next book is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, published in I think 1890, and I'm very embarrassed to say that up until now I've never read a book by Oscar Wilde, so I decided that now is absolutely the time. So I had a look around amongst his books, and this one really caught my eye, so I'm very curious about this one. The next two books are also classics, but this time French instead of Irish, and again I'm very embarrassed not having read anything by these two authors before. So what I picked up is Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert, published in I believe 1856, and then In Search of Lost Time by Marcel Proust, and this is a book in 7 parts, and I believe they were published in the 1910s and 1920s. And I will start by reading the first part, and if I like it I will continue reading the rest, because as I understand it they are quite heavy to read. And I picked up these in English, even though I can read in French. However, it takes me a lot longer, and when I read in French, I like to do it properly and slowly, underlining the words I don't know and look them up. And I already have a book sort of in progress in French that I'm doing this process with. So I'm reading these two in English for now, and if I really enjoy them, I think I will pick up physical copies in French and reread them properly at a later date. So the next book is Call for the Dead by John le Carré. And again, I haven't read anything by this author, but I have seen the movie Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy and the TV series The Night Manager, and I really loved both of those, so I think I will enjoy his novels as well. And this is the first novel of his, I believe, and also the first novel with the spy George Smiley, which I believe is a main character that appears in many of his books. So I think that this is a great place to start to get into his books. So the next book is what I talk about when I talk about running, by Japanese author Haruki Murakami, and this one came out in 2007. And this author is mainly known for his magical realism novels, but this one really caught my eye. I think it's a memoir about two topics I'm very interested in. It's running and writing, and I'm already an avid runner, and I would really like to get into writing, so I thought that these were two perfect topics to combine in a book for me to read. So the next and final two books are book number 16 and 17 in the Stephanie Plum series by Janet Evanovich, and I believe that these were published around 2010. I have read the previous 15 books when I was in high school, and I really enjoyed them. I remember laughing really hard. I know that these books will not win the Nobel Prize, but if you want something like short and funny to read, these are excellent. So the books are about Stephanie, who's a young woman in New Jersey, and by accident or chance she becomes a bounty hunter, even though she has absolutely no training for it. And the lack of skill at her job and the characters she meets because of her job is sort of the main source of comedy in these books, as well as her close family and extended family. I will start by reading these two books, and if I enjoy them as much as I did when I read the previous 15 in high school, I will continue to reading the rest as well. I believe that there are 28 books now, so I have a few left to read. So that's it for my first book haul of 2022, and actually the first book haul of my life. So I hope you enjoyed it. I will come back to these books in future videos, and I will do reviews and discuss if they lived up to my expectations. So I will see you then, and thanks for watching, and bye.